Hola mi gente, welcome back to Cat and Too Many Books. I am Kat. Thank you for being here. It is April 6th when I am filming and probably uploading this. And I have had quite an April. Very quickly, my house flooded. I had to be out for a good part of the week. Everything's good now. Ceilings are patched up. No more flooding. So I'm glad to be back. So I finally get a chance to do what I wanted to do, which is talk about what my April reading possibilities are going to be. So I have a couple of different challenges that I want to do during the April reading possibilities. So let me talk about those challenges and sort of very quickly go over them and the books that I want to read for them, and then talk about the rest of the books that I'm going to put in my, whatever. As you all know, I am someone who is a mood reader, so I have several different ones for what my mood might be in April. I actually have a whole week off in April at one point. It is my spring vacation, so I am looking forward to and hoping that I will be able to read so much during that time off, because I am planning to do absolutely nothing but be at home and relax. So let's hope I get to read. So let's talk about these challenges. So let me start talking about the first readathon. So this is oops, I'm moving. Oh no, sorry. Okay, let's not do that anymore. The first one that I am looking to do, which is called the Random-a-thon, which I guess is one that, this is round 2 now. So they did a round 1, and they do a different theme every single round. So for this round, they did the theme of flowers, which is very spring. And I was very excited about it. I'm like, yes, let's do that one. Because I was kind of like, let me do something springy with my reading. Give me reasons to find certain books. So for this one, it is basically the readathon is read a book that is about plants, animals, flowers, whatever, or that has plants, animals. I think it's animals. Is that right? Plants, flowers, maybe fruits. Let me check. Okay, garden, flowers, bugs. No animals, bugs. So basically, so read books about flowers, plants, or bugs, or read books with covers that have flowers, plants, or bugs on them. So that's great. I might be able to, I have quite a few books, I think, this month, my possibilities, that have plants and flowers and bugs in them, but I am going to try to fill 3 specific challenges. So the readathon has 12 challenges you could choose from, so I'm going to work on 3. So the first of the challenges is plant magic. So read a book that features plant magic. So I got from the library Homegrown Magic by Jamie Pacton and Rebecca Poros. This is the story of Margot and Yael, and Margot is a plant witch. Yael is Margot's old childhood friend. They return to town from, they're running away from some sort of situation going on at home. They are wealthy, a scion, scion of a big wealthy family, and they don't want to do the thing that they want them to do, like their family wants them to do. So they have come, I think, looking for Margot, or just run into Margot, and a romance blossoms between them, and it sounds really cute. The little tagline says, "A cozy greenhouse tale with entirely too many strawberries and one mechanical steed." It sounds really, really super cute. It has non-binary representation, and I don't know, it sounds like a fun time, and I think I'm definitely gonna get this one on to read. The next one for the Random-a-thon, the second challenge is read a book with plants on the cover. So that allowed me to pick up The Cemetery of Untold Stories by Julia Alvarez. Julia Alvarez wrote in the Time of Butterflies, right? Yes, In the Time of the Butterflies, which is a fictionalized, sort of historical fictionalized tale of the Mariposa sisters, who were brutally murdered in the 70s by an extremely awful regime. And so that was a huge book that Julia Alvarez wrote. And she also wrote How the Garcia girls lost their accent, I think. I really enjoyed that book as well. And I saw this and thought this was so intriguing. It is about a character named Alma, who is a writer, who decides to buy this sort of derelict house, and that has a lot of land, because she has a friend who died, like a writing friend who died, and she seems to be filled with regrets. And so Alma wants to be able to bury the stories that she can't tell or the ones that aren't good enough in her like land as a cemetery. So she starts building a cemetery of untold stories. However, the stories have their own ideas and they start to talk to each other. So not sure what that means or how that manifests, but I guess a little bit of magical realism. Yeah, and it sounds great, and hoping I'm in the mood to read this so I can fill that prompt. The next one that I have, so the next prompt is flowers on the cover. So I have several books that I can use to fill this. So these are several books that I want to read. Well, I think actually I only have two books, I think. Yeah, so I have two, not several, but two books that have flowers on the cover. Well, actually I have more than two. Anyway, for this prompt, I would like to read these two books, and that would be The River Has Roots by Amal El Mohtar, because that this is one of the authors of one of my favorite books. This is How You Lose the Time War, and it sounds like such a fascinating book. It is a fantasy book about two sisters whose family are like ancient family who has helped sort of tend to these willows that have magic that run in between the border of fae, like the fairy world, and the real world. And the story is sort of one of the sisters rejects a mortal suitor who, as I guess, is very powerful and does not take the rejection well, for a fae lover that they have. And I think it's about what that happens with the sisters and kind of what they have to deal with after that, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. It's very short. It's not very long whatsoever. I'm really excited to get into it. This is actually a proof copy I got from my best friend April. Thank you, April, who works at the library. She tends to get some proofs sometimes, and she gave this to me. So it's not uncorrected, so I'm a little hesitant to read it because I love this author so much. But I feel like I'll love this and I'll just buy it for myself, like the finished copy, and then I will be able to like reread it and see what the big difference might be. So yeah, this is definitely on my possibilities for this month. And then the second one that also has flowers on the cover, and I am so super excited to read because this is the final in a series I've been reading that you guys have been watching me read, and that is the final book of the Emily Wilde series, Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. I'm so sad. I am so sad this is the last book. Like, I thought maybe it was a series because nobody had said it was the last book, but it seems like it's the last book. And I mean, the cover, look at how gorgeous this cover is. I got this. This is the UK version of this paperback, like the UK version of this cover. It's a big one though. It's a lot taller than my other ones, so if it's weird, I might have to look into buying ones that all look the same, but it doesn't really matter because I love it so much because I love this cover. It's beautiful. And as you can see, there's flowers on it. And of course, this is the next or the final installment in it, in the Emily and Wendell story. I think they go back to Wendell's fairy kingdom and have to do with the repercussions of what happened in the second book, and I guess figuring out whether they can live in the fairy world together or what's going to have to happen. And I'm very, very excited to go to read this. You guys know this is in my favorite type of format of books, which is epistolatory. I love epistolatory novels, and I am excited to get to this. I will be reading this one 100% for sure. And so that was all for the Randomathon challenge. I also have two, so like one other challenge kind of has two parts to it, and then another challenge that's just the one part. So I have two more sort of challenges. So it's the buzzword challenges from Kayla, so Books and Lala, who does a buzzword sort of buzzword readathon all year long. So she, one word for every month. And she has in the last couple of years, I think, done, or maybe this is first year, but sorry about that, covers. So also a buzzword cover. So I did not get to do March because of so much stuff that happened. So I kind of want to try to do March and April. I'm hoping I can do it because, Kayla's really just very chill about when you do it. She's like, whatever. So for March, let me talk about the March one first. March, the buzzword was thing, and the cover challenge was books. So for the buzzword, I'm thinking of reading Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. I don't know much about this book. I know it's a horror book. I know that it's got like not great reviews maybe, or like some people really like it, some people don't like it. So I don't know how I'll feel about it, but I'll give it a shot because it's super tiny. I think it's maybe 100 pages. Yeah, it's like 110 or 11 pages or something. It's pretty short. So I figured might as well do it. And then for the March buzzword challenge, the cover challenge, it was books on the cover. And so I'm seeing if I can finally read The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods, which is about a bookshop that I think there's something with time in it, and there's 3 characters all at different times, like centuries, years, whose stories all kind of come together eventually. It feels like that's what this is about. I'm not 100% sure, but it's super cute. I really, really like the cover of it, and it's got books on it. And plants could fit for 2. For April, buzzword challenge for April is the following. So for the cover, it's both animals. So books that have animals on the cover, and also books that have animals in the title. So I have one that is going to fit for both of those. I'm hoping I get to read it because I do want to be able to get them all done. Let me talk about the one that's just the cover, just in case I don't get to. But so let's talk about the buzzword challenge cover. So animals on the cover. I have Graveyard Shift by Emma Rio, which is the story of 5 people who meet nightly in a college like university's kind of like cemetery. And one night in October, they go there and there is a big hole where there shouldn't be, and they are sure that something is not where it needs to be. That's all I really know about it. Kind of excited. It's a shorty. So I might, get through it quickly in that week that I have to read stuff. So that would fill in that challenge for a animal on the cover because there's a rat on the cover. So yeah. Also for the cover, Murder in Maman by Mia P. Manansala. This is a Tita Rosie kitchen mystery with Lila, who I've been following for the last 4 books. This is hilarious. You guys, this is like brain candy. It's sort of a palate cleanser when you're reading stuff. It's always so much fun. The murders aren't hilarious, but like the figuring them out tends to be hilarious. This one, I believe, has to do with the aunties, which I'm excited about because the aunties are some of my favorite characters. And I think they're implicated in a death. They just opened a laundromat or something, and I don't know how they're implicated in a murder, but they are. And of course, Leela has to try to exonerate them, like make sure to find out who really did it. And of course, I picked this because it's got that cutie pie on the cover. Little dog on the cover, the animal, her little sausage baby right there. And so, yeah, this would also fill the next challenge that I'm going to do, which is I'm doing like a mystery challenge for the whole year. And there's like different sort of challenges of mystery. So one of them is a cozy mystery challenge. So this would be my cozy mystery because it's a cozy mystery. Or if I don't get to that, because I may not, I also have Ghostly Echoes by William Ritter. This would fulfill my mystery challenge, murder mystery. We are finally digging into Jenny's murder. Jenny is the ghost that lives in Jacoby's house, the ghost that I think Jacoby's in love with. I believe there's a whole sort of romance kind of situation, very low-key with them. In the last book, something happened with Jenny, and in this book, I think they have to finally get to like the bottom of who murdered her and why. And so, yes, I really, 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 really want to read this. I've had this on my TBR for ages. I really love these books. And so I feel like if I push myself, I can read so many books during this spring break. I'm going to do that. And I think I'm going to prioritize this as one of those books I really want to try to finish this month. And lastly, for the buzzword-a-thon, so like I said, it was the buzzword was animals, the cover was animals. I have one book that fills them both for April, and that is Legend of the White Snake by Cher Lee. It has the snake on the cover, it has snake in the title, and I want to read the synopsis because I don't think I could do this book any justice if I don't read the synopsis. So if the synopsis, it says, when Prince Shen was a boy, no, Zion, when Prince Zion was a boy, a white snake bit his mother and condemned her to a slow death. Zion has never stopped looking for the only known cure, an elusive spirit pearl, or an antidote created from the rare white snake itself. Desperate, Zion travels to the city of Shangle, where an oracle predicted he would find a white snake. 7 years earlier, Zen, a white snake, stumbled across a spirit pearl. Consuming it gave him the ability to change into human form. In Changling, Zion encounters an intriguing young man, Zhen. The two are drawn to each other, but it becomes clear to Zhen that he is the white snake Zion seeks. As their feelings grow, how much longer can Zion hide his true identity? So yeah, I think it's Asian myth and lore and folklore. It's a queer romance. It's gorgeous cover. To fill both of those, I think this would be my logical one to pick because it would be one book to fill both of those challenges. So this is going to the top of that list. And finally, I have a few other books that I kind of want to put in my possibilities. I have a lot this month because I don't know what my mood's going to be like, right? And I'm also going to be off for a week. So I could want to read a whole bunch of stuff and get to it or whatever. I'm challenging myself to try to read a book a day in April during that time that I'm off. Will I do it? Don't know. But I will have the time, so I should try at least. So I have a bunch of other books that I want to talk about. First one I want to talk about is one that I've actually already begun reading. I started reading it a little early in April, so it's the book I'm currently reading. And I decided to start the Wheel of Time series. Again, I read it when I was very, very young. I started, and I think I got through about 7 books. And then I was 8. I mean, these were written ages ago, like we're talking 90s. And so I don't remember so much of it. Like I remember some of it, but I decided I wanted to kind of get back into it because I feel like I'm in my fantasy time right now. Like my fantasy and romance era has arrived, I think. And I've been feeling both of those genres a lot this year. So I wanted to get back into it and get into like a series. And so I have picked up on my Kobo, The Eye of the World, which is book 1 in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. So yeah, that is what I'm reading currently. And I will hopefully read one of these every month or every other month. It's going to take me a while to read these because these are hefty ones. They are really long books. But I'm not going to force myself to read more than one a month or one every couple of months. With me, it'll be one every couple of months. So I will get to the end of this series in a couple of years. But whatever. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So the next one, I have the good number of these are, I think the next few are library books that I took out and would like to get into. I have had this book out from the library for a while. My library is very nice. I'm able to take books out for at least 3 months. I've had this book out for about that long. The Friday Afternoon Club by Griffin Dunn, which is a family memoir. I've talked about this book before. Griffin Dunn is a actor, very prominent in the 80s. He's also a writer now. And he talks about his family, who they're actually pretty prominent family in the entertainment industry. But this book begins with the murder of his sister. It's a very well-known case. His sister was murdered by her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend. I can't remember whether he was ex or current boyfriend. And so the story, from what I read of the little bit that I read at the beginning, it sort of it's launched from that event happening. And it kind of goes into their childhood and everything that happened to them after that, like very sort of life-changing traumatic event that happened to the family. And I'm really looking forward to like finding out more about his family and about him and how that trauma, that tragedy changed them and what sort of happened. Next, I have a book that everybody's read, I think, and it's very, very popular. And I've picked it up because I found out that it was at least 50% of this book is in epistolatory form, which I did not realize. I should have, because I know this is a book about writing letters, so I have no idea why I didn't think it was going to have a huge chunk of it be in letter writing form, in epistolatory form. But that is, of course, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is the story of two rivals in a newspaper who don't realize that they are writing to each other on this like magical typewriter that they're writing, and they're sending like messages to each other, and they fall in love. So it's a little bit like Shop Around the Corner / You've Got Mail, but it's a fantasy world, like a fantasy world like our world, but fantasy based. And I do think they're in the midst of a war as well. So there's just so much going on, and I know that everybody that I've spoken with says this is a lovely romance, and I thought I'd just pick it up because I also really like the cover, kind of in the mood for it. So Divine Rivals. The next book I saw at the library a little bit back, and I've been waiting for it to come in. I put it on hold and it finally came in. I'm going to read the synopsis of this because I'm not sure I can really do it justice, and I think I'm going to do that with the next book as well. And it is a House for Miss Pauline by Diana McCauley. And let me just read it real quick. When the stones of her house begin to rattle and shift and call out mysterious messages to her in the middle of the night, Pauline Sinclair, aged 99, knows she will not make it to her 100th birthday. She has lived a modest life in Mason Hall, a rural Jamaican village, educating herself with stolen books, raising her two children, surviving by becoming a successful ganja farmer, and experiencing both deep passion and true loss with her beloved baby father Clive. Behind this seemingly benign facade, however, Miss Pauline has buried many secrets. To avenge her enslaved ancestors, she has built her house stone by stone from the ruins of a plantation, and she knows more than she has told about the disappearance of Turner Buchanan, a white American man who came to Mason Hall decades ago to claim her land as his and his children's. The whispering stones, Miss Pauline realizes, are telling her that she must make peace with the past before she dies. With help from her American granddaughter Justine and Lamont, a teenager she enlists to help her navigate the mysteries of the internet, she searches for those she has wronged. But as the people and stories of her past come to invade her present, she discovers that there are shocking secrets even she could not have anticipated. This sounds amazing. This sounds so good. So I really hope I'm in the mood for like a fiction, like I guess it's contemporary fiction technically. I'm thinking, and just I'm just kind of really wanting to hope that I am in the mood to read this because this sounds like such a fantastic book. The next one I found a while back, and I borrowed it from the library but never got around to reading it. Took it back and I've had it in my mind since I borrowed it because I really wanted to kind of read it, and I felt like this would be a good time to like take it out again and give it a go to reading it. And that is A Haunting in Hialeah Gardens by Raul Palma. I don't know why I called him Paul. By Raul Palma. Again, A Haunting in Hialeah Gardens by Raul Palma. So I'm going to read the synopsis of this as well because, again, don't think I could do it justice by trying to explain it myself. Hugo Contreras' world in Miami has shrunk. Since his wife died, Hugo's debt from her medical bills has become insurmountable. He shuffles between his efficiency apartment, La Careta, his favorite place for cafecito, and a botanica in a strip mall where he works as a resident babalawo. One day, Hugo's nemesis calls. Alexi Ramirez is a debt collector who has been hounding Hugo for years, and Hugo assumes this call is just more of the same. Except this time, Alexi's calling because he needs spiritual help. His house is haunted. Alexi proposes a deal. If Hugo can successfully cleanse his home before Nochebuena, Alexi will forgive Hugo's debt. Hugo reluctantly accepts, but there's one issue. Despite being a babalawo, he doesn't believe in spirits. Hugo plans to do what he's done with dozens of clients before, use sleight of hand and amateur psychology to convince Alexi the spirits have departed. But when the job turns out to be more than Hugo had bargained for, Hugo's old tricks don't work. Memories of his past, his childhood in the Bolivian silver mines, and a fraught crossing into the United States as a boy collide with Alexi's demons in an explosive climax. This sounds so awesome and great, and this cover is phenomenal. So yeah, hoping I'm in the horror mood to kind of get to this one. These last two books have been, or are two of my most anticipated books of the year. They were unfortunately not on my TBR, so I just bought them and added more to my TBR, but whatever, I've got them now. And so these are two books that I really have been wanting to read for I've been looking forward to reading. So one just came out actually, and that is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, the 5th in the Hunger Games series. This is Haymitch's story. It takes place during the 50th Hunger Games, and it is about what happened to Haymitch and how he had to survive the 50th Hunger Games. I know nothing else about this. I do know that it is heartbreaking from everything that I understand. And Suzanne Collins says so much about so much that is relevant right now in these books. And I am looking forward to seeing what she has to say in this book as well. And last but not least, my other and most anticipated book is Watermoon by Samantha Soto Yambao, which is a book about a woman who inherits a pawn shop. And the pawn shop, though, isn't like a normal pawn shop. You don't pawn objects, you pawn your life choices or your regrets, I think. And it's just, I guess the story sort of starts with her being in the pawn shop, and this man comes in. He's like a scientist, and he asks for her help in solving something, and so they go on some kind of adventure. I hear it's very, very like cozy and lovely. Excuse me, cozy and lovely, and so I feel like I need something cozy and lovely this month. So this might be going right to the very top of my my reading TBR possibilities for this month. Okay. That was it. Those are all my possibilities for this month. I tried to get through this as fast as possible. Hopefully I can edit this down to something a little better than what it is right now. I will try to link the challenges in the information if anybody wants to do them. Yeah, that's it, I think, for the time being. I hope you guys have a great week. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the possibilities. Are any of these in your possibilities for the month? Have you read any of these? Do you suggest anyone that I should pick up immediately? I would love to hear from you. Go ahead and put it in those comments. Remember, any comment or anything really helps the channel. So you could just leave a little emoji if you felt like it. Whatever, little flower, plant, whatnot. And I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Have a great week. Bye.